Charlie was done with Israel bullying him. That's what bothers me so much about this man.
Almost a month after Charlie Kirk's murder, MAGA world is up in arms about his assassination with renewed vigor. But this time, they're at war with each other. The right-wing cult is utterly imploding on itself as an explosive new claim about Kirk's killing is sparking all-out MAGA civil war.
Candace and Tucker had nothing to say about Israel until it became unavoidable last year. Not popular, but unavoidable. And now they want to gatekeep me out and do this personality attack and say I'm a bitter loser in my basement.
And it all really kicked into full gear yesterday when MAGA podcaster Candace Owens revealed messages from a group chat she was in with Charlie Kirk just 2 days before his death.
Charlie was done with Israel bullying him. That's what bothers me so much about this man. Him allowing these headlines, Charlie's pastor speaks out, crushes Candace because of what she said, not whatever. I don't like it. He knew, and others knew, that Charlie was done with Israel bullying him, and I am now going to present you proof of what I am saying. This is an actual group chat, which happened 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were 9 people in total on this chat, including Charlie and Rob McCoy. I'm going to protect the names of the other 7 for now. To be clear, I might actually release a name every day this week, but I want to show you this because suffice it to say, Rob McCoy was on this text thread, and I think it helps contextualize him as a person, in my view, that he would attack me for telling the truth about the pressure that he was facing. Take a look. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Then somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. People that were pretending that I was just, high on lying about Charlie and the pressure he was under, the attacks that not just me, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly faced for trying to stand up and tell the truth about what Charlie was actually going through. Why are you hearing it, though, from me and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? I'm going to frankly say that it's suspicious to me. It makes me think that in the same way that Charlie was being pressured by money, that you might be now run by that same money, that those same donors might be running you.
Now look, there's a lot of context we need to break down here without falling trapped to the right-wing conspiratorial wormhole. And while Owens didn't outright blame the Israeli government in that clip, the right-wing and podcasters specifically have run rampant with craven opportunistic conspiracies about Kirk's murder since it happened. First it was leftists, then it was trans people, then the feds were involved in a cover-up, and it's now Israel, according to them. And while the assassination leaves a lot of questions to be asked, the way MAGA is going about getting those answers exposes a crucial flaw within MAGA that progressives and people in the resistance can exploit to essentially let MAGA tear themselves apart from the inside. For some context, the group chat that Owens shared included Kirk and 8 other individuals, one of whom was Rob McCoy, the co-chair of Kirk's conservative advocacy organization Turning Point USA. You saw that Kirk allegedly complained about having lost another Jewish donor, something that would cost him $2 million a year because he insisted on inviting Tucker Carlson, an outspoken critic of the United States support for Israel, to an upcoming Turning Point USA event. That donor is suspected to be conservative billionaire Robert Shillman, largely due to a New York Times report last week that said Shillman had, quote, angrily questioned Kirk for giving a platform to Carlson, and that he had informed Kirk he would be withdrawing a $2 million pledge to Turning Point, an account that lines up with Kirk's alleged comments. And theories that Kirk had become disillusioned with Israel in recent months were also suggested by Carlson, who, while appearing on the Charlie Kirk show just days after Kirk's killing, suggested Israeli leadership was, quote, disgusting for trying to use his death to promote their own political causes.
But I don't think it's helpful for people to jump in, particularly foreign heads of state, to say, this is what, he lived for my cause or whatever. That's disgusting, actually. Don't do that. That turns everybody off. You don't help your own cause by doing that. and it's also literally untrue.
And those comments were seen as jabs at top Israeli officials, like Israeli Minister of National Security Itamar Ben-Gvir, who thanked Kirk for his, quote, support of Israel in a social media post, while casting blame for the attack, in part, on the, quote, collusion between the global left and radical Islam. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also made several online posts in remembrance of Kirk, claiming him to be a lion-hearted friend of Israel. And while Owens' image of the supposed group chat has not been independently verified, she received significant blowback from many other MAGA figures for her continued suggestions that Israel may have played a part in Kirk's killing. A suggestion that spread so wildly online that even Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu responded to it, calling it disgusting and insane. With that context out of the way, this is where the war really gets going. MAGA mouthpiece Laura Loomer, who holds a breathtaking amount of influence over Donald Trump's administration, clapped back at Candace Owens, saying she doesn't give a fuck about Candace Owens and her postpartum psychotic rants. Even if those texts are real, it still doesn't mean Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Candace Owens makes content for low IQ people who don't understand how criminal investigations work. It's going to be hilarious when she is sued by Turning Point USA in addition to Macron's wife, which is a reference to the defamation suit Macron's wife filed against Candace Owens for saying she was born as a man. But then you have other in the batshit crazy right-wing MAGA sphere suggesting they support Candace Owens' claims, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, another harsh critic of the United States' support of Israel. In her case, simply retweeting the video of Candace Owens showing the group chat with the text, hello, period. And then you had other figures like Megyn Kelly simply sitting the fence on the issue, refusing to condemn either Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson. In a response to a post that says, if you can't separate yourself from Candace Owens, many of us are going to separate ourselves from you, Megyn Kelly said, look at this. No, I have no obligation to, quote, separate myself from anyone. I run my own media company and do my own show. The show is where I express my own opinions and I will decide what and what not to opine on. If you need me to condemn Candace or Tucker for their opinions in order to listen to me, then I may not be for you. He's a close friend and she is under enough pressure without gratuitous shots from me. My fight is with the left, not these two. But therein lies the fatal flaw. I am not going to sit here and debate the merit of Candace Owens' allegations. I'll leave that to you guys in the comments. What I will focus on, though, is how this fight and many others like it, including the conspiracies and drama around the Epstein files, are not fights between the right and the left. They are fights among the right itself based on craven opportunism.
Well, that has never happened before. I guess we could say Charlie broke the internet one more time. 150,000 of you guys were watching, and the system just sort of crashed.
That was the intro to her featured video on our YouTube channel, To My Friend Charlie Kirk, Remembering Charlie. Candace, who was supposedly Charlie's best friend, is now attacking his wife, attacking his foundation, and MAGA continues to relentlessly attack each other. The worst person on the internet, Nick Fuentes, went scorched earth on Candace and Tucker just the other week.
Tucker's mask slipped, and he forgot for a minute that for 8 years he's been pretending to care about the plight of weird kids in their parents' basement who are broke and didn't go to an Ivy League school, living in cities that don't matter like Chicago, not like Washington, D.C. or L.A. or New York. And that's why he had such disdain and contempt for me in that moment. Between the personality attacks, he's lonely, he's weird, he lives in a basement. I'm sorry, did you guys forget that that's your target audience that you're trying to pander to? Did you forget that for 2 seconds? And I'm the inauthentic person? I am that person. I am a spokesman for the disaffected white man because I am one, and you two are not. Candace Owens got married to British royalty worth $200 million after meeting him for 2 weeks on Zoom. What the fuck is even that about? And Tucker Carlson's dad ran the CIA's propaganda empire fighting the Soviet Union. He went and fought with the Contras when he was in college. When I was in college, I was doing a webcam show in my friend's dorm room criticizing Israel. So who's the CIA cutout? Who's the inauthentic one? Who's the crazy, hateful one?
Regardless of the nature or the truth to any of the allegations these people are positing, this is a movement built up like a house of cards, rife with strife from within, and ready to collapse at any moment, especially as these people continue to be exposed for grifters and scam artists. We've seen it from the president. We saw it from the cash grabs immediately after Charlie's death, from Turning Point USA, from conservative movements. The only real question I see here is who will be there to pick up the pieces when MAGA ultimately crumbles? And I would argue the answer should be us. They are really good, as we've seen, at tearing things down, including each other. So let's let them. And while they're off at war with each other, we need to be laying the groundwork for what comes next. A government, a country, a society that returns to truth, to fact-based reporting, to empathy, to intolerance of conspiracy theories without merit or evidence, to putting facts over feelings, and to restoring some sort of semblance of civility to our political discourse. And unfortunately, things are going to get worse before they get better. But it's up to us to ensure that they do get better. That's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know all your thoughts in those comments down below, whether they're speculatory or celebratory at seeing MAGA tear themselves apart. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I'll see you guys in the next one.